Hello, Bryan Hancock here. Today's new episode of the Timberchase Financial Wealth Brief. Today we're going to talk about a financial path for widows or those who are about to be. If you have recently lost a spouse or you expect to soon, this is for you. In the middle of grief, you can be forced into an administrative job you never applied for, and sometimes a feeling comes that administrative things must be done. Sometimes this is true, and other times not so much. It can feel like you're expected to become a probate, tax, legal, and financial expert at the exact moment you may have the least capacity or interest in doing so. As a side note, none of what we say here today should be considered financial advice. Consider this just observations that I have made from having seen this play out many times. So here's a framework I find myself repeating to widows when we first meet to discuss what needs doing. The idea here is to get administrative things out of the way so you can go on about the business of grieving with your family. There are 5 major themes. The first is reduce risk. The second is reduce moving parts. Third, put out fires in the basement. Number 4, get a trusted second opinion. And number 5, go focus on your family and let the fog lift before you make any big permanent decisions. So back to number 1, reducing risk, both financial and personal. In the earliest days, you may be vulnerable in 2 directions, emotionally and financially. And that combination can be when bad ideas show up. Even well-meaning people can unintentionally create noise and pressure. One of the consistent priorities widows describe is simply to not get taken. And sadly, we have seen it. Someone pushing a new roof deal, a complex insurance policy that sounded sophisticated but delivered no real value, a scam, or a business proposal that was conveniently urgent. If it's urgent, ask if it is right for you now and if you may see it differently later on. There are some exceptions. There are true deadlines, things like estate, tax, or insurance timing that your attorney, accountant, or financial planner can confirm. Number 2, reduce moving parts. After a loss, there are suddenly too many accounts, too many decisions, and too many helpful opinions, quote unquote. Ask yourself, if I ignore this for a year, will it matter to me? If not, give yourself permission to set it aside and get on with your new reality. Eventually, a simpler financial structure will be attractive. Fewer accounts to monitor, fewer bills, less complexity. Many married couples have a financial plan and process that is built for the spouse who is most fluent and most interested in financial matters. If you are the one who was not, your financial plan may need a lot of change to match how you feel about your money going forward. But give yourself permission to make some of those changes later on. Number 3, put out fires in the basement. A fire in the basement is anything that seems small now, but will be damaging without immediate attention. If you own a small business, is the succession plan clear and does it need to be launched? Who will run the business? Are there financial and legal deadlines that need to be met? Is it early in the year, which gives you more flexibility for tax planning, or later in the year, creating pressure to make immediate tax decisions? Were there transactions already in process that will need to be completed? If any of these are occurring, even if you don't know what is in the basement, this leads to our 4th idea, and that is to find a trusted second opinion. One of the most important long-term priorities widows describe is establishing or leveraging relationships they can trust, people who can coordinate the pieces without adding pressure. This matters because after a death, it is common to get a flood of conflicting advice from friends, family, and professionals. Some of it is smart, some of it is self-serving, and some of it just may be wrong for you. A good second opinion slows the pace down, helps you prioritize what actually should be done now versus later, and reduces the chance you get pushed into a decision you may regret. Who should be your advocate? Professionally, a financial planner, accountant, or attorney who does not have a conflict of interest. If you're not sure who has a conflict of interest, see the link to our conflict of interest article in the show notes. But first, perhaps, is asking a personal friend or relative who is fluent in administrative matters and who will tell you the truth. Number 5, delay big, irreversible decisions until the fog lifts. When you are grieving, your future self is basically unavailable for a while. You might feel pressure to make big decisions that you may see differently later on. These could be to sell the house, move to a new city, change major investments, buy something, restructure a business deal, start or end a significant relationship, or give money away in a way that you wouldn't normally do. Our general encouragement is to avoid big, permanent decisions until the fog lifts, unless you have absolute reason to act. For some in that waiting period, the goal is to not win financially, but the goal is to not lose, to protect your options until you can think clearly again. A final word, if you are walking through this now, your job is to stabilize, simplify, and protect yourself, and give grief the time that it demands, surrounded by people you trust. If you want a deeper dive into this process, read our article, What Do I Do Now? A Financial Guide for Widows. And if you would like to have a no-nonsense discussion about your situation, email me at Bryan with a Y at timberchase.net. Thanks for listening.